Hello and welcome. My name is Amanda and this is my channel, Her Pacific Northwest Washington Life. And today I wanted to share with you my next bi-monthly TBR. So these are all the books that I hope to get to sometime in the months of May and June. Some of these are specific to a certain month and others I can kind of fit in wherever. So it's not really my typical bi-monthly TBR, which has a little more flexibility than just a monthly TBR, but I am really looking forward to so many of these books. So the first two books that don't fit in with the readathon I'm going to talk about that I really want to get to are The Vanishing Hour by Lisa King. This is a book that I'm planning to do a buddy read of in the month of May with my friend Eric over at Break Even Books, and I think there are 2 or 3 other people that we are also going to be doing the buddy read with. He had put out a note on Twitter asking, not a note, it's a tweet on Twitter, asking if anyone would be interested in supporting a new Canadian author because Eric is a Canadian booktuber. And I really enjoy doing buddy reads with Eric, so I figured that I would snag the book because I thought it was free. But it was only free on Canada Amazon and not US Amazon, but I had already committed and knew that I wanted to do this buddy read with him. So that's one of the books that I plan to read in May. I'm not entirely sure yet when we are going to be doing this buddy read, but it will be sometime in May, obviously. The other book that is May specific is The Well of Ascension, which is book 2 in the Mistborn series. This is to go along with the Cosmere read-along that is taking place throughout the whole year. So the book that we're moving on to in May is The Well of Ascension, and I really want to keep on top of that read-along just to help keep me motivated and stuff like that. So definitely going to fit this in, but it also does work for the readathon I had mentioned earlier, which is the Finish-a-thon. This is a readathon that was created last year by my friend Darshell over at Books and Planners, and the whole point of this readathon is to either finish series that you have already started or progress further in series that you have already started. So this is book 2 in the Mistborn series, so this will be progressing in that series. I also have, as a goal for this year, there are 6 series out of 12 that I have ongoing that I would really like to finish. So there are 3 that I'm going to focus on primarily because I only have 1 or 2 books for those. The first being After by Anna Todd. The only book I have left in this series is Before. So I will probably get to that first just because I know that'll be a quick read. I usually fly through those audiobooks even though I tend to not like them so much, but it will be nice to finally have this all wrapped up. The other series that I've only got 1 left is the Outlander series by Diana Gabaldon. I've got Written in My Own Heart's Blood. This I'm going to read via audiobook. It's going to take me a while and I'm hoping it's not going to slow me down too much, but this is the last book I have left in her Outlander series of books that are published. I have found out that she is writing a 9th book and probably will write more, and I wasn't happy when I found that out because I was so excited to know that I only had 1 book left and the end was in sight, but there will be more Outlander books. So I definitely want to get caught up on that. I wanted to get caught up on the series before I went to Scotland in May, which that trip has been canceled due to what's going on in the world right now. But at least I know for sure that I will have and be all caught up on the Outlander books before I go to Scotland, probably next year. The other series that I am really close to finishing is the Parasol Protectorate series by Gail Carriger. I didn't really like the last book that I had read in the series, which I think was book 3. So I want to give it just 1 more book to see if I'm gonna finish out the last book or if I'm just gonna DNF the series. But the 2 that I have left are Heartless and Blameless. This is a steampunk series that is an adult series. It follows a girl who is called a soulless, I think that's what she's called. and there's vampires and werewolves and things like that. It's a really fun series. I just didn't click with the series as much as I did with her young adult series, which is the boarding school series, the whatever, I don't remember what it's called. Other than that, I do have a couple other series that I want to finish. Another series that I'm only going to give one more book a chance, and if I don't like it, I'm going to DNF the series, as the Fallen series by Lauren Kate. I have Fallen in Love, Rapture, and Unforgiven left. So I will give Fallen in Love a try, and if I don't like it, I'm just going to be done. The other series I have, this is just one that I'm going to progress in because there's 13, 15 books. I don't remember how many books there are. So I'm definitely not going to finish it because I'm only on book 3. But it is the Gossip Girl series by Cicely von Ziegler. I think I can probably read between 2 and 4 books this month. So the next books I have are You Know You Love Me, All I Want Is Everything, and Because I'm Worth It. These are super quick and easy to get to, right around the 200-page mark. And these are rereads for me, at least these 3 are. So they'll go pretty quickly. And I am also motivated to finish these because I just really want to watch Chase Crawford's beautiful face on the TV again, because I also never finished the TV series. So I just need some Nate in my life, and that's my driving factor here. And the last series I would like to get through throughout this readathon is the Vampire Knight series by Matsuri Hino, which is a manga series. There are 19, I believe, total. I don't know if that's the final number. I'm not sure if it's complete or not, but I am up to volume 6. So I own currently volumes 6 through 10, and then I have a gap until 14. So these I can usually read in just like 2 or 3 hours. So they'll be good like palette cleansers and stuff in between my bigger books. And I just want to kind of see how many more of these I can get done. I've got 3 right now. We'll see. I also kind of like to leave these though for readathons because they're really quick, but it'll be fun to just progress more in this series. There's also an anime of this on Netflix that I'm interested in watching. And I don't know where, like, how closely the anime follows the manga, or like where the series overlaps or stops or like branches off. So I want to get a little further into the series before I start watching the anime, just because I want to avoid spoilers. So those are the books that are specific to May. And then I've got a couple other books here that I'm interested in reading. The first of which is The Return of the King, which is the last book in the Lord of the Rings series. There's also a Lord of the Read-Along going on, and I know that the plan is to read this book over June and July. I have been buddy reading this with my friend Rainy at Rainy Day Reads, and we have only been taking about a week or 8 days-ish to read these books, and we finished Two Towers in April, at the beginning of April. And we haven't fully talked yet about when we want to start Return of the King. She said we could potentially do it in May, but now with stacking all those books up and looking at what series I want to finish, I'm not entirely sure I will have time in May. So we probably will just start this in June with the other people who are participating in the read-along and get this done probably within like the first week or 2 of June. So that's the plan there. I also have the 3rd book in the Mistborn series, which is Hero of Ages, and this is the book that is slated for June for the Cosmere read-along. So it will be nice to have the first era finished at the end of June. And then 2 books I have. One was a recommendation by my friend Darshell, who's hosting the Finishes series, or the Finish-a-thon. And this is a book I picked up at Powell's bookstore in Portland when Darshell and I met for the first time. And it's The Secret Life of Bees by Sue Monk Kidd. She convinced myself and two other ladies that were with us to pick up this book. It's nice and short. I've never read it before, but it is set in South Carolina in 1964 and tells the story of Lily Owens, whose life has been shaped around the blurred memory of the afternoon her mother was killed. So seems like it'll be a little bit of a mystery and just kind of a growing up story for this girl Lily. I'm not entirely sure, but I am really looking forward to reading this. Darshell said it was one of her favorite books. And for the most part, Darshell and I have pretty similar tastes, so I think if she likes this, then I probably will as well. So excited to see what this is like. I believe, isn't this a movie as well? I don't remember, but it might be. And the last book that I would really like to get to by the end of June is The Cider House Rules by John Irving. This is a book I've also never read, but I have seen the movie, though it was probably a good 10 to 15 years ago. And I don't recall a lot of the movie. I just remember really enjoying it when I read it. It is set in rural Maine, which is also a setting I've never read in before, and I swear I remember this being set in the South, but it's not. And it's set during the first half of the 20th century. This novel tells the story of Dr. Wilbur Larch, who is a saint and obstetrician, founder and director of the orphanage in the town of St. Cloud's. He's an ether addict and an abortionist. It's also the story of Dr. Larch's favorite orphan, who is Homer Wells, who's never adopted. I remember a lot more about Homer because he was played by Elijah Wood, and I think when I saw the movie, it was one of the first movies I had seen Elijah Wood in after watching him in The Lord of the Rings, and I had a major crush on the guy, so like I remember his character. I remember probably mostly liking the story because of Elijah Wood. But I think it would be really interesting to revisit this in a book form and then eventually go back and rewatch the movie because Skylar hasn't watched it, and I know that at some point I had mentioned that I would really like him to watch it. So there is that. There's a lot more books on this list than I normally put on a bi-monthly TBR. I usually like to stick around 10 so that way I can mood read and stuff, but with a readathon happening in the month of May to finish series, obviously I'm going to try and cram in as many of those books as I can, and then with the kind of beginning of summer months, ready to get into books that are a little more summery but not quite contemporary yet. I like more of the literary fiction or just the fiction genre a bit more. And then I've got some read-alongs that I'm participating in. So lots of good stuff coming up. I would love to know what you have planned to read over the next couple of months, whether you plan your TBRs out like I do as bi-monthly or quarterly or monthly or what have you. Also, if you're participating in the Finish-a-thon, I would love to know that as well. So please do let me know down in the comments below, and I will chat with you there until my next video. Bye.